Hello again, as always, it is me, Indah Melindasari from ONEderland Consulting. I have more than 10 years experience as a migration agent and was once a migrant myself, which gives me a unique insight into the process. Please like this video and click subscribe to get all the best Australian immigration content and updates. Before we start, I would like to give a mention to our sister company, Education One Australia. They handle all aspects of international studies in Australia, from finding you the right courses and institutions to assisting you in any issues that may come up, such as confirmation of enrollment or student visa cancellations or refusals, and helping you plan your post-study career and visa pathways. You may find links and contact info for them in the description. Now let's get started with the latest immigration news and visa updates. If you have been following our immigration news updates on our channel, or you have been keeping up with the news regarding Australia's immigration program, you will be aware that the main focus of the new government in this financial year is on the skilled migration program, specifically how it can be used to address skill shortages across Australia and help the economic recovery from the COVID pandemic. Some of the obstacles around this issue that the government has been trying to tackle are complicated processes of the skilled migration program and also a significant backlog of applications, so they can start to fill some of these badly needed roles. With this in mind, the government held the Jobs and Skills Summit between politicians, unions, business, and community leaders. The outcomes of this summit include an increase in overall migration places to 195,000. There has also been an easing of requirements regarding a host of different visa and visa programs that allow work rights to the applicants. With the start of the new financial year comes the reopening of the state nomination programs, which have received a boost in allocated places with this renewed focus to the skilled migration program. So in this month's new news update, we will be going over all the news easing of requirements and also a state-by-state summary of their programs, including the newly just announced allocation of places for each state's nomination program. In general, the state nomination program concerns the 190 and 491 visa subclasses, and also a small number of business owner visas. The subclass 190 state nomination visa is an instant permanent resident visa in the same way that 189 visa is. However, for the subclass 189, the federal government essentially takes on the sponsorship roles. With the 190 visa, it is state governments that take on this role instead. We previously released a video about the details of the 190 visa, which you can find the link for in the description below this video. The subclass 491 visa, on the other hand, is a regional temporary visa with a pathway to PR, both the 190 and 491 visa requiring submitting of an expression of interest or EOI and receiving a state nomination before the visa application is lodged. Now let's start with the New South Wales. We'll be starting today with the New South Wales, which has the most competitive of all the state skilled migration programs. Been allocated the highest number of places this year at 12,030, with 7,160 places for the 190 visa and 4,870 places for the 491 visa. Changes for the 2022-2023 program include an updated skilled occupation list and also updated points and minimum working years experience requirements for each occupation. You cannot apply directly for the New South Wales program, as there is a requirement that you have been residing in the state for 6 months. The New South Wales program will be open to offshore applicants for those who have been residing offshore for 3 to 6 months, depending on the subclass. As long as you meet the residency requirements, the points minimum and experience required for your occupation. Even though you may not apply directly, the application is straightforward. Just submit an EOI and wait for the state invitation. The invitation rounds happen throughout the financial year. The rounds are not announced beforehand and there are no set dates. Once you have received your invitation, you will have 14 days to apply. If you're applying for the 491 visa, once you have submitted the EOI, then you will have to apply directly to the RDA or Regional Development Office in the area you wish to live and work. The second largest allocation of places this financial year went to Victoria. In total, they were allocated 11,400 places for their skilled migration program, 9,000 places for the 190 and 2,400 places for the 491. Victoria is one of several states that requires you to submit an ROI along with an EOI. Victoria has significantly eased the requirements for this financial year's program. They have in fact removed the requirement to have been working in your nominated occupation. So long as your occupation is under skills level 1 to 3 and you meet the minimum 65 points, you are eligible to apply for the ROI. Along with this, they have also greatly increased the number of occupations on the skilled occupation list. Victoria is accepting offshore applicants for the 190 in all eligible occupations and in the 491 visa as well. Priority will be given to those whose occupations in the health sector for the 491. The ROI form is significantly shorter as they will now be taking more information based on your EOI. So you will need to make sure your EOI is up to date, and even if you have submitted last year, you will need to submit a new EOI to be considered in this financial. One state that has been generating a lot of talk and buzz around this year migration program is Western Australia. They petitioned the government heavily to receive an increase in allocations for skilled migration and in fact have the biggest increase in places of all states this year. In fact, it was more than 700% increase of places from the year before. Last year, the total numbers of places was 1,450, which has increased to 8,140. 5,350 of the places going to the subclass 190 and 2,790 places for the 491 visa. Western Australia is trying to position itself as the ideal place for international students that are trying to settle in Australia, has also fought to become the most attractive state for skilled migrants. Amongst the many changes that have been imposed is the removal of the $200 state nomination fee. The Western Australian has also had 100 occupations to their skilled occupation list, bringing the total to 276. The English language requirements have been eased for those applying in managerial and professional occupations. The length of employment contract needed has been shortened from 1 year to 6 months. They have reduced the requirements around evidencing sufficient funds and also lowered the working experience requirements. As you can see, this easing of requirements and the massive increase in places for their skilled migration program, Western Australia is definitely trying to live up to their statement that will become the most attractive state for skilled migrants. The program is open to offshore applicants as well. You may submit the EOI whether onshore or offshore. Western Australia does not require an ROI, only the EOI, so the application is one of the more straightforward of the state. They have 3 different streams that include different skilled occupation lists. Each has a slightly different requirements, so you will need to make sure in which stream your occupation is listed on. Graduate occupation list stream is only available for those that have finished a degree, diploma or certificate in Western Australia. On to Queensland, they increased their places for the 190 visa with only a slight decrease in places for the 491 visa. In total, Queensland has allocated 4,200 places in their skilled migration program, with 3,000 places for the 190 and 1,200 places for the 491. Like most of the other states and territories, Queensland is open to offshore applicants as well. However, in this case, it's the first time since COVID travel restriction began. For the 190 visa, they expect to have a total point of 80 and above, while for the 491, they are only looking for a score of 65 and above. The main difference between offshore and onshore applicants is on the years of work requirements. As for the resident requirements for onshore applicants, you are expected to have lived in Queensland for 3 to 6 months, depending on the pathway, and there is also an expectation that you live and work in Queensland for a year after you are granted your visa. Queensland, like other states, has also expanded their skilled occupation list. South Australia is also increasingly trying to promote themselves as an attractive destination for skilled migrants, boasting one of the largest and most various skilled occupations with over 500 different listed occupations. They have also allocated 5,880 places for their skilled migration program, with 2,700 places for the 190 visa and 3,180 places for the 491. The program is also open to offshore applicants, in which the applicant is also required to submit an EOI. Generally, South Australia only requires an EOI only for the case of the highly skilled talented stream requires an EOI. To the capital now, ACT has been seen to increase their allocation both in the 190 visa at 800 places and the 491 visa at 1,920 places. New occupations have been added to the skilled occupation list as well. Interestingly, for ACT, you do not have to be working in your nominated occupation as long as you have positive skills assessment outcome. Popular occupations such as accountant, IT, chef, graphic designers are on the critical list. ACT is unique in that it operates its own point-based system called the Canberra matrix. It should be noted as well that during last year's program, the nomination were given for those with the total points between 60 to 70, which is lower than many other states. The residency requirement is to have been living in Canberra for 6 months to apply for the 491 and living for 6 months to apply for 190. The program is open to offshore applicants as well, and obviously the residency requirement is not applicable in this case. Okay, so let's move to Northern Territory. This state has the lowest allocation of all states with 600 places for 190 visa and 840 for the 491. Northern Territory is the only skilled migration program that is not currently open to offshore applicants. Another unique requirement of the Northern Territory is the commitment to live and work in the nominated occupation in the territory for 3 years after the grant of the visa. There is a fair amount of occupations on the skilled occupation list with a total of 420. Additionally, within the list 200 of them are in the high demand. The last state we will discuss today is Tasmania. Tasmania has allocated a total of 3,350 places, with 2,000 of those places for the 190 and another 1,350 for the 491. The Tasmanian government, the program is only open partially at the moment under a priority system before opening up to all eligible candidates in the coming months. The Tasmanian nomination process starts with submitting a registration of interest in the Migration Tasmania Getaway. Your ROI will be assessed under which color ranking you fall into. Priority will be given only to applications that are deemed green or gold to be given an invitation. This color ranking is based at the moment on the priority of your occupation and decided by the state. The color then specifies when your invitation will be given. So gold, being the highest ranking, will allow applicants that are invited to apply immediately. The program is open to offshore candidates if you already have a job offer from a Tasmanian business that is directly related to your nominated occupation, assessed by the relevant skill assessing authority. If you do not, you cannot apply directly. Instead, you will be invited to submit your interest through the gateway by the Tasmanian government through SkillsLab. Well, that's the run-up of all the changes and updates for this month, 2022. If you have any questions about how these changes may affect you or benefit you, please don't hesitate to reach out to us, leave a comment and questions, and we will get back to you as soon as possible. You can find our contact details in the description and in the comments. So feel free to send an email or call with an inquiry, and our advisors will be there for all your visa needs. ONEderland Consulting is here to help you. As always, thank you for watching.